What's up, guys? I'm Chris from MMORPG.com, and today we're looking at these. Thanks for hanging past the cut, guys. That song sounds great on these, by the way. These are the Massdrop X Sennheiser HD6XX open back headphones. Now, if you're not familiar with Massdrop, which is now Drop.com, one of the big things that they're known for is partnering with major brands and re-releasing beloved products with some modern updates. So these are actually based on the Sennheiser HD650s, which are as beloved a headphone as you are ever likely to find. They are very, very well known, and they're also very, very expensive. But let's look at what they actually changed on this. The color, number one, is now a midnight blue. It's almost black, it's so dark. The name badges have been updated, and on the inside of the band, you can see that there is a Massdrop logo. On top of that, the cable is now 6 feet instead of 10 feet, and it ends in a normal 1/8 inch jack and has a 1/4 inch adapter, which means you can use it with your laptops and headphones. And that's it. The sound stage is the same, the sound character is the same, the drivers are the same. It even has support by Sennheiser. So if anything happens with this, you can reach out to Sennheiser and they'll offer support. So these are HD650s, but here's the best part. They're $100 cheaper than the actual HD650s. So today, there's no point to get an HD650. You get the HD6XX, save $100, and get yourself one of the best headphones that's out there right now. So let's actually talk about what makes this so good. Now, I'm a gamer, we're a gaming website, so I'm looking at these from the context of not just music, but also, can I hook them up to my PC? Can I play a battle royale? Am I going to be competitive with them? And guys, these are one of the best gaming headphones you can actually get. And that's because of a few reasons. Number one is that they are open back. Look at the back of these things. Number one, that just looks really cool, okay? But having an open back gives you a wide open sound stage, which means you have a much better sense of distance. So when I'm in the middle of a game, you can kind of tell how far away something is. You feel almost like you're in the middle of the room, like you're with your character in whatever you're playing. So if I'm playing Battlefield 5, for example, and I'm in a house, I can hear kind of where things are falling when someone drops a grenade and there's debris falling around my head. I can hear much better where those footsteps are coming from. So that's number one. But if you're listening to music, it feels like you're in the center of the room there too, so you can pick out where the different instruments are coming from. The sound stage and positionality on this is just fantastic. So picking out directions, which is the most important thing for a headphone, these are better than even some surround sound gaming headsets I've had that are even more expensive than these, and that is really a surprise and really awesome to see. The other thing that makes them perfectly suited for gaming is they are a very, very detailed headphone. So when you're listening to them, they do emphasize the mid-range just a little bit, which means your team call-outs, you're going to hear those really good. If you're listening to music, that brings the vocals forward, but it doesn't lose the detail in the treble or in the bass. In fact, the bass is really, really well controlled, so it's going to be present, but it feels tight. Like listening to a gaming headset, after listening to these, the bass sounds kind of fat and even warbly, like if in Battlefield, if there's a tank rolling by, it kind of overwhelms everything else. That doesn't happen at all with these. These are super well controlled. But then those high-end details, like in music, one of my favorite examples is when you're listening to drums. You can hear the texture of how they hit the cymbal, and this is just fantastic for those. In a game, you're going to hear the little ping of your bullet falling off the ground after it ejects from your rifle. It is so good with these, and they definitely give a competitive advantage. I didn't expect to say that going into these. I expected these to be a good headphone after the massive amount of hype that I'd read about. I did not expect these to be the best gaming headphone I've ever used, with rare exceptions for much, much more expensive headphones that have fancy software tricks. For stereo headphones, it doesn't get better than these. Now, one of the other things that I really love about them is if you're going to be wearing them for a long time, they are super comfortable. They have these nice velour ear pads that are on there. You can kind of see that if the camera will focus, which is almost like wearing pillows on your head, except for the fact that if you have cats, it is going to get a little fur, dander, like all that kind of stuff that's on there. So you are going to have to clean them a little bit more often. You can probably tell we have 3 cats and a dog in our house, like, not too bad, but it's there. So you're going to have to clean them a little bit more. The clamping force on these is pretty good, but because these are like pillows, it really didn't bother me at all. I could wear these for hours, and at under 250 grams, these things are stellar. They didn't make my head hurt. They didn't lead to pain over time. They didn't lead to ear fatigue. These things are such a well-balanced, well-rounded headphone that you could just wear them for hours comfortably. So if you're a competitive gamer or you sit down for 3 hours at a stretch, these are going to more than deliver for your gameplay. And same thing if you're sitting there listening to music or if you're wearing them on your commute, you're going to be able to wear these for a long time and feel great doing it. Now, there are a couple downsides to this you're going to want to know about. That open back design means you can hear everything that's around you, but it also means other people are going to be able to hear what you're listening to too. Now, it's not that bad. I say that sometimes, and people think, oh, it's like having a speaker coming out the side of your head, and that's not it at all. With these, you're going to get a little bit of sound bleed, but I can wear them and have a microphone right here, and the microphone doesn't pick up on them. So that should give you an example of the kind of sound bleed you're talking about. If somebody's in the room, they're going to tell you're listening to something, but probably not what you're listening to. The other thing that you should be aware of with these is they are a 300 ohm impedance. That's about 10 to 15 times the impedance of a normal set of earbuds or headphones you're going to pick up at the local department store. So you're going to need some juice to power these things. But what really surprised me is I plugged them into my Note 9 and they actually worked really well right off the bat. So that has a lot to do with what you're listening to. If you're listening to more detailed music, you're going to want to get a little bit more power to these things to really make the most of them. A lot of modern pop music, it's kind of almost an equal volume almost across the board, and these are going to sound great for that. But if you're listening to something that has a lot of dynamics, ups and downs, video games are like this, you're going to want to get enough juice to these. So check out what kind of power your phone puts out. The Note 9 did an okay job, but when I gave it a little bit more juice from an amplifier like my Sound Blaster E5 here, again, if we can get that thing to focus, the Sound Blaster E5, this thing made them sound phenomenal. All of a sudden, that bass became punchier and tighter. Those details came out even better. So they went from good to great. Now, the good news is, plugging them into my gaming PC here, my motherboard was able to run it fine. I tried it on another Gigabyte motherboard, a Gaming 5, I think, that was from last generation with Ryzen. Worked fine. So most modern gaming motherboards are going to have enough juice to cover these. I also have the Sound Blaster X7 over here. This thing did a fine job of powering these as you would expect it to. But if you have an older phone, it may have a little bit of trouble really bringing out the best in these. And you can go on Amazon. You could find an amplifier that's going to do the job for under $50 if you wanted, but your phone might do it. So give it a shot first before investing in an amplifier. You might be happy with what you find. But overall, guys, I am just in love with these headphones. They are so nice, and to be able to get these for $100 less than the HD650s, knowing that they are HD650s by another name and in a slightly different style, is just a steal. I love them for music, for games. They are really my go-to headphone now. Back here, I have a couple others that are up there on display. These are the ones I've been listening to. Even though I have thousands of dollars of headphones in the house right now, these are winning the day right now. So with that, guys, check out these headphones down at the link below if you're interested. That's going to help support the site, and we will see you next time.